Padres fans, we got to talk about some pretty crazy headlines surrounding MLB insiders and a San Diego Padre pitching star. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest, the show that is excited that we are at the point where I feel like the national media can't make out if they think the Padres are still good or still bad. And so there's all sorts of weird takes and opinions going on, like the one that we got to talk about with Ken Rosenthal and Nick Pivetta today. Thank you very much for tuning in for that. Before we get to that, though, we have to say thank you very much to Kalshi. All of today's video is brought to you by Kalshi. It's America's largest trading network. You can get a special discount right now if you go to the link that is in the description here and use Digest MLB. When you sign up, you get $20 on your first $100 in trading. You can do all things Padres options, and you can do all things anything's options. So if you're watching some NFL right now, if you're watching college football, you want to get in on any of that, it is the smarter way to use your sports knowledge. That's Digest MLB when you sign up for Kalshi. Thank you very much, Kalshi, for making this all possible. Let's talk about the headline now that I wanted to get to from Ken Rosenthal. And it has to do with this. Padres free agent update hints at interesting Nick Pivetta rumor. This is where I say that I can't figure out what the national media thinks right now of the San Diego Padres. The belief is, if you kind of follow the thread through this article, the Padres want to add a starter, but are telling representatives for several free agents that they are not ready to move, according to people familiar with those discussions. My assumption there, and this will be, I'm writing notes in the margin, so this is not part of Rosenthal's article, but I'm guessing that that's like Chris Bassett and the likes of some other free agent options out there that I don't see a world-changing person, but somebody who would, if there are some options out there that you could float some names and be like, oh yeah, that'd be a dope 5, a dope 4. But later in the article, what they basically get around to saying right now is, obviously, and again, as always, apologies for everyone watching these on phones. I will do my best to read this for you. The holdup might be the Padres waiting to clear money, perhaps a trade of right-hander Nick Pivetta, an idea they have entertained this offseason, Rosenthal and Salmon wrote. So it'll be an interesting offseason solution for the Padres after spending $75 million over 3 years on Michael King, some of those being options. Likely options for him to pick up, but they are options, so not set in stone. The Padres are reportedly trying now to move on from Pivetta after his breakout 2025 campaign. Let me unpack it, and then let's unpack it. So as always, drop a comment. Tell me what you think about this as we kind of go from A to B to C to D here. But in general, I guess first question, do you want to trade Nick Pivetta? I don't. My knee-jerk reaction to reading this is I wanted to hit it with, and apologies in advance, my cultural metaphors are from I try to be diverse, but I grew up in a certain era, so I think in a certain set of memes. But I wanted to hit this with the Billy Madison of we're all dumber for having heard that. You have, made us all worse. Shame on you for saying that. I award you no points for saying this, because this just seems like stupid clickbait, saying the Padres would be like, let's dish Nick Pivetta to make money for Chris Bassett or a 5-star or somebody else, because he's a really good pitcher, and he's somebody that I think we would, from my impression, he'd be somebody that you would want to have in the conversation for being somewhere between a 1 and a 3, which I think he is, depending on how you differently view King and Musgrove and their potential to come back to what they have been in the past. But yeah, I like Pivetta. I think Pivetta's numbers are good. In wanting to temper it and come back and not just be overreactionary and try to be the more legitimate version of the baseball pundit for you guys that I at least aspire to be on this YouTube hosted show. A small part of me does ask, did we get our best year? Like, was that Pavetta's peak? It was a good year, and it's not to say that he can't have something similar to his year, but was that the best that Nick Pivetta will ever be in terms of single-year numbers in his major league career? What else does he have left in the tank? Yeah, I don't want to say that, he's going to turn into a bust of a contract, but I tried to look and say, okay, if this is where we are at, starting pitching-wise, and we're, saying that, okay, we've got like a Chris Bassett, or I just keep hammering the Bassett home because that's the one that I have actually talked about wanting out of any of the available free agents to help round out all of this. But does dishing Nick Pivetta to a team who can give us back, call it 2 good future assets, maybe 1 arm, 1 position player? I don't want to dignify this with a full on I thought of X, Y, or Z, the specific trade, but say a Yankees or a Mets or a somebody out there who's in contention and does the win now thing and wants to build, has a reasonable, excuse to trade 2 dudes. Or some dudes and clear, like 1 dude, 2 kind ofs, and also is clearing cash because they're taking the whole Pivetta contract and then allowing us to get Bassett or somebody like that for less value than we were initially paying, have a little bit of cleared up space, have another pitcher, and then make a move 2 months into the season or at the trade deadline or at some point because Preller's reloaded a little bit to go get another guy who's a 1. I make my way full circle to say, I certainly am not saying, that's the one piece that the Padres are missing is us dishing Nick Pivetta in some petty cash dump. That's the one thing taking us away from being able to beat the Dodgers or beat whoever. I do, though, think that given whenever a guy has a career year, you always at least can entertain the conversation of, is he at his most valuable right now? And at his most valuable, is his on-field play enough to get us across the finish line, or in aggregate, is there a better move? I think I'm still 95.5, really dumb idea there could be something there, but I'm curious. This was one that I had thought of more in the lines of let's dish Cronenworth, or let's just hold. Let's stay where we're at and maybe trade a little bit of bullpen if we need. But that's where my brain was at. I hadn't really thought through this and sat with, let's dish Pivetta, but maybe there is a play to be made there. So let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Like I said at the beginning, if you want to hit that subscribe button, also wouldn't hate you for it. Talk to you guys next time.